Hello, good evening. It's about 8:30. It's been a lovely day today. I think it's 17th of May. It's a Friday. Every day is much the same for me. This video is really devoted. UBK Bosley, if you've been watching the channel. And I'm getting misunderstood all over the place, but that's part of the course when you do these things publicly or you make a demonstration publicly. So this one's addressed to my brothers or my family, collectively and individually. Brian, I'm really sorry that we're at the stage of our, where we are. You should rightly be really mortified and ashamed by what you did when you phoned Lympstone, Brian, because it's taken me a long time to realise the full extent of what you did and how you must have done it. The timing and everything, I mean, the ramifications for me were absolutely huge and lasted for years, because I couldn't understand why from one day I got the odd bit of ribbing about any association with the parachute regiment, but the others, normally it was just, why did you join the Marines? I said, well, I was trying to do my own thing, and it was well received, and I got a bit of grief, of course, expected, but after that, shit changed massively. The whole camp, it was like, you fucking hell. I don't know what you said to that guy, but he was absolutely fucking apoplectic when he was screaming at me. I didn't have a clue who he was. I'd already got injured and was getting back into training, although it was a struggle. The leg never healed. It never did, even the army subsequently. It took me a long time to get over that, Brian, because, there's a lot of people that were on my side as well. And then after that phone call, or that bloke screaming at me, and I didn't know about the phone call. I didn't know that's why he was screaming about me. But what the fuck you said to him, I don't know. But everything he was screaming at me was as if it was coming from me, through you, about my opinions on the Marines and how I wanted to join the Paras. It was fucking game over for me. Everybody was at me. Even people that weren't aware or didn't give a shit. Suddenly I'd profess to denigrate the unit I'm trying to join. Thank you for that. Apologies for bringing it up 40 years later, but it lasted with me for years. I had to live with that. Ultimately, it was whatever the injury and whatever circumstances were created by you and by my lack of motivation therein or thereafter. I was doing all right. I might have been able to get through and do the training. And decided to do something that wouldn't have been so physically demanding, but I probably wouldn't have done that. But that wasn't your choice to make. What the hell you were thinking of? David, you were the brother I was probably closest to of my biological brothers, apart from, probably all of them. When I was young, you were nice to me. I've always said that. And unlike Carl, when me and you had altercations, I didn't beat you to a fucking pulp and put you in hospital. I'm not a wife beater. I never have been. The worst I did to Michelle, and this is fucking when you explain it, it sounds bizarre, but behind our house in the Merrick Quarters at Tidworth, there was the ranges. We faced the ranges. The first lookout post that you could see clearly. There was no forest. Was about 350 metres away. Every time me and Michelle used to argue, which was all the time, because I was not husband or father material. Probably still aren't. Definitely not husband material. Probably not father material now, because I wouldn't risk it. The worst I ever did was when we had an argument, and she created arguments all the time with the help of her mum, and I was in an atmosphere and an environment that I was forced into. Yes, I had sex with her willingly. Nobody held a gun to my head, but nobody could have guessed after what, almost 3 years having lots and lots of sex, as you do when you're young and she's cute and whatever, no problems, and all of a sudden I do it when she threatens to commit suicide, and lo and behold, I get next phone call I get is that she's pregnant. So I did the right thing, or the wrong thing. So with regard to this fucking, when I took her out, she whenever we argued and I tried to withdraw, which is what a lot of men do, because I can't argue with women. They go from 0 to 10. That's like arguing with your dad. Fucking every time I'd leave or go, even if I was taxi driving at night, which genuinely was, to not be in the house, because it was horrible. It wasn't comfortable. It was too fussy. She'd phone up the army and tell them I was going to, or phone up the camp and say I was going to come home drunk and beat her up. Well, you don't come home drunk when you've been taxi driving all night. I didn't have any drink problem then. I said when I drunk I was an idiot, but I didn't drink very much really until I got married. So I bundled her into a car, tied her up, bundled her in the car, drove her up to the post, which was empty because it was, you know, it was mid-afternoon, it was a weekend or something. There was nobody about. People didn't dog walk up there. It was too inaccessible. The only people you got was maybe avid hikers who were hiking across Salisbury Plain, but there weren't any idiots out there. It wasn't a drug area. I wanted half an hour to sit in what was Parsons my own home, my army quarter, without her throwing my stuff out the window so I couldn't leave, because I had to keep picking up and then entering the row again. So I left her up there for half an hour and then went up and picked her up and brought her back. Well, I don't know if someone found her and I don't know, but she just, fucking hell. And Lisa was just a wrong one, okay? I nailed my colours to the mast because I thought, I don't have any better self-esteem than you lot do. You don't have great self-esteem when you're raised in the way we were. And I know, Brian, you fucking suffered with Mum dying. I know you suffered a hell of a lot before. You never had a fucking upbringing. You had a survival exercise. I know you did, Brian, and you were closest to Mum, and I know it fucking hit you hard. But it doesn't excuse you going to the papers without speaking to me about the compensation. What was fair about the compensation, Brian? Was any of it enough for your childhood being the way it was, even before Mum died? And then afterwards, being 21 and having 3 brothers you can't really fucking help much or do much for because you're in your own world of shit. Do you not think that went unnoticed? That didn't go unnoticed? I know what you went through. The fact of the matter is it didn't stop, particularly Brian and David, and then Cole, fucking hell, he came up close, Jesus Christ. You took the fucking piss out of me, basically, Brian, and you always did. But that phoning that bloke, whoever that fucking, I think he was a senior PTI W01 or something, through the ranks, he was fucking hell. How he didn't punch me, I don't know, but I swear he was going to. And I had no fucking idea who he was, what the problem was, or what. He didn't even say what I'd done. Didn't even refer to the phone call. He just said, "Oh, if you want to fucking go to the Paras and then fucking you can fuck off, I'll be watching you." A couple of days later, I'm in the office and I'm kicked out. More or less. Well, a couple of days, couple of weeks, because I didn't know what fucking hit me. I also had a shitty letter off the old man in his usual fucking encouraging way. I think after that. And Dave, some of the fucking situations you put me in, you probably don't even remember. Ferrying God knows what across South London in a very dodgy fucking poor squaddy's car. When I went up there to get some gear from East London, some legitimate stuff to sell down at camp. Fucking hell. Can I have a lift to Adlington? Yeah, of course you can. I'll go half an hour out my way to the M5 and then you get in the car with a great big carrier bag of fuck knows what. And my alibi would have been I had no fucking idea what it was, whatever it was. Pretty clear what it was, Dave. Thank you for that. Give me a heads up and I can either say, yeah, fucking, I'll take a risk for you to help you out, or no, fucking count me out. You didn't do that. Your first comment ever to Lisa when I walked into a pub in Streatham with her was you turned around to her in front of me, bearing in mind that you wouldn't win, you know you wouldn't win against me, Dave, but you still turned around and said, I would fuck you right now. That was your opening line. How, but that's Dave, You used to be a really funny, great bloke. You shouldn't have joined the Paras. Worst thing you ever did. Worst thing Carl ever did. But the worst thing Carl ever did was trying to salvage his life by hooking up with Lisa and trying to get me to put myself out of my misery, and they fucking nearly succeeded. Lisa nearly succeeded, but for 20 seconds I think it would have taken. So I have a different view of Mum's death. It's as simple as that, okay? There's a lot of unanswered questions and things I'm not really happy with. However, I don't want an inquiry. I don't want to stand off with the police. I'm not interested. Because no fucker else is. The Parras have owned the memorial, everything, since it happened. Well, didn't the Parras have something to do with Mum and her friends dying? Why are there not enough military tributes in Aldershot now? It was six civilians that died. They happened to die while working for the regiment that had shot a load of people in the back and shot a load of people at a protest that was beamed around the world. And then they failed to step up security and, oh yeah, it wasn't happening in them. Well, hang on a minute. I think the Parras have been in the Middle East for quite a few years. There's a bit of a security issue over there at our bases. I think we had problems at Bahrain, in Bahrain. And a Parra who used to do the eulogy, not the eulogy, but the narrative of what happened the day, as if we didn't know what happened that day and who pulled who out of where and who did what. What about the lives of the people that were killed? Who were they? The memorial itself, a drumhead service. 50th anniversary. Why a drumhead service, which was something that was instigated at the beginning of the in the First World War, when the British officers used to do some sort of religious service to pep the men up before going over the top. How is that relevant to Mum and her girlfriends and John Hasler going there to maintain and clean, garden, a military installation, and then getting blown to smithereens? It may have gone unnoticed under the radar by you lot, but unlike Carl, I was campaigning for a civilian-orientated memorial to the civilians, not to a regiment, not another battle honour, though hardly this it was, or Wild Heart. That's hardly what it was. I'm sorry we're falling out. We've got the same DNA, we've got the same history, but we weren't raised together. And I didn't ever feel part of you, more an afterthought, or maybe an afterbirth, as Carl might have put it. Whether or not you believe that Carl was front and centre with trying to facilitate my demise with Lisa, and if it's an excuse for something, what for? We've never had a good relationship, Brian, me, you and Elaine, over the last 20 years. You've had your problems. I don't dislike both of you, either of you. But Elaine, you're very opinionated and you've done a lot of judging where I'm concerned. And having all the answers, and you haven't, any more than I have. My biggest problem is I survived what happened, and it was fucking horrible. I've met loads of people who've had some really fucking shit lives, awful lives. Loads. We did, Carl did, David did, Brian did. And Elaine, your life wasn't straightforward. Nobody does now have a straightforward life. Physical stuff was one thing, but witnessing the beatings I saw and waiting for the next thing, and it stays with me now, because this skate park thing, when I hear a clank and bang in the middle of the night, it's the same clanky bang that used to precipitate fucking a little bit of violence, somebody getting beaten to shit. And to be honest, if I was lucky it was me, because at least it was me, it was over and that's the beating done. It was more theatrical than violent, really. Just lots of red face, screaming, spitting through your teeth and throwing furniture about. And as long as you didn't scream like a girl too much when you were younger, or fucking show any obvious weakness, it was a more measured beating, I suppose. You know that. You three went through that as well. Dave in particular and Brian in particular. I think Carl used another survival technique, which is get everybody else in the shit and just fucking stand by and watch it. Seems to be a lifelong thing. I never really hated Carl either, but fuck me, did he hate me. I didn't realise how much. You have to ask yourself why he suddenly became interested in what I did for a living after Lubo committed suicide at at the stadium where I was working as a project manager. Carl had never intimated to me that he had any suicidal thoughts, and after that I was bombarded by him every day at work, at Greenwich Energy Centre, for the remainder of the Olympic Stadium, and he wanted to come and see where I worked. So, what fucking what do you want to see where I work for? I was proud of where I worked, but he'd never taken an interest. He didn't even know I was a site manager, I didn't think. Carl was all about Carl. That was fine. A lot of people like that. I've been like that a lot as well. So he turned up pissed to a fucking massive, probably one of the biggest projects of its type in the country at the time. Did take him on site because I escorted him, and he didn't really stink that much, but he was either acting pissed or was a bit pissed. He met some of the lads, which only infuriated him because they spoke highly of me, which they probably would, because they probably assumed he was my brother because he looks exactly like me. So they're not going to say, well, Boz, our manager, he's a twat, is he? Are they? But I don't believe they probably would have said that, because I wasn't, and that was a really good job. And yet, why would I get phone calls every other day on site, every day, when I'm working away? I'm just about to hang myself. I'm just about to hang myself. It chips away at you. And then I'd be 15 minutes late into a meeting because I'd be phoning up Combat Stress or the Parachute Regiment Association, or I don't know, the British Legion, or Parachute, anybody. To get an appointment, and it never got anywhere. And well, Andy Faulkner's tried. I'm trying. He's at my house most weekends, adding to my fucking domestic woes, most of which I didn't realise were there. But here's the thing: the suicide attempt, or what was probably looked like it, was just her. Come here. Just her, Lisa. I did take loads of drugs from where she was working. That's highly legal. I never got to the bottom of why. You ask Lisa a question, you always get a politician's answer. Lisa, how much are you in debt? Oh, 200 quid for that, 300, and then I paid off 400 pounds. So just give me a figure. What are you in debt? Because I will end up paying it. About 2.5 grand. Right. 5 months later, it's 8 grand, or 9 grand. Well, I thought you said it was, I forgot about, okay, so I'm paying fucking £9,000 off this time, or whatever it is, by paying everything so that you can work, buy your fags, wine, and maybe pay your debt off. But of course, Carl was about to lose his house because he fell off the roundabout after the standoff with the police in Streatham, with the grenades, or the phosphorus grenades and the pistol and the red beret and all that. And he went downhill, Brian, as well, you know, because you witnessed it, because you got him all that work in Iraq, doing the close protection stuff or whatever, and the piracy work, and he kept letting you down. And then he just got drunk, and then probably hatched an idea with Lisa, because she was motivated by revenge, because she was apoplectic about me going around Europe with Elaine, not you, Elaine, a very pretty, cold, lovely girl with horrific kids. We went around Europe together. We didn't have a great time because we fell out, and she sulked virtually for the rest of Europe, which is, not the best thing when you're in virtually you're in a mobile tent for 6 months or whatever it was. But that didn't work out. We did the coffee shop for her, which was a stupid idea because it was a stupid place, but she never took advice. She was very much like me, and that didn't work out. But Lisa was absolutely sent insane by the fact that I'd gone around Europe in a camper van, which she always wanted to do. Probably not with me, but we'd ever pay for her. I paid for her to go around Thailand with me and get drunk in different places in Thailand. We did do a bit of culture. Well, anyway, I'm sorry that at the end of our lives we were like we are. We're in the state we are. I don't wish you any ill, Brian or David. Especially you, David. I don't wish any of you any ill. Or you, Elaine. All your kids, got some good memories. David, don't know, it's a shame. I did potentially need Roxy taken in, because the police are trying to get Roxy rehomed and taken off me, because obviously I've upset a lot of people down here. I've bought a house I wouldn't have bought if I'd have got the proper mortgage I paid for. That's another story. The ironic thing is, come on Roxy, go get it. Go and get the thing, quickly. I wouldn't have bought this place if I'd had the mortgage I paid, the survey I paid for. So I'm now going through a legal thing with the people who provide the survey, because they've admitted culpability. But it's a bit late now, because I bought the fucking place and I wouldn't have done. So none of this would have happened. And I wouldn't come face to face as a construction person with a project that is designed and approved by the same people. So they design it, and regardless of what they can say whatever they fucking want, because they're improving it. So ASB, they say, well, antisocial behaviour. So you've got a big densely populated area with a huge skate park with an open expansive car park for joyriders, and it's unlocked 24 hours a day. There's loads of estates around here with loads of drink, ASB problems, all that sort of thing, and it's unlocked all night, every night, despite the authorities, the same authorities who lied about the scale, the heights of the ramps, disguised it because they were not going to include any acoustic barrier between concrete and steel ramps being struck by skateboarding equipment, because that's what skateboarding is. You jump up in the air, you separate your body from the skateboard or the scoot, you twiddle it about, twirl it around, put it above your head, let off a firework, have a 3-course meal, make a quick speech, and then land on the skateboard or on the scooter, hopefully in one piece, and get a round of applause from the gathered ensemble, and the world is good. And it makes a noise. It has to. It's physics, I think. So, I mean, look. Houses, as far as you can see, look. We are above. I mean, there's a bit above there. It goes on a bit up there. But that is Whipton, underneath a big athletic stadium car park with a big skate park, which is brilliant. The skate park is really well designed. The people who use it love it. Brilliant. No problem with that. That's one tick in the box. But as has been demonstrated by the last 5 years, the people that have to live with it, and the downsides of the behaviour, the noise, which is occasionally poor, as it is when people leave a pub or a club or a thing or a place or a what's the name even. There can sometimes be problems, and you mitigate for people that fall through the net, or are idiots, or get drunk, or do drugs, or have a problem. That's what you should do. You see, there's kids over there, right? And they're in the skate park, and they're having. So they're not skateboarding. There was one lad there. They're not doing any harm. They're behind the wall, not creating any problem. They're young kids. I know a lot of them. I know where they come from, some of them. I know some of their parents, and some of them have not got ideal lives. But in an ideal world, you'd have a community that kind of looks after its people, whoever they are. Even people you don't get along with, you just understand, well, he's got a load of shit going on, or she's got a load of shit going down, or kids going through a bad time. We can't do that in this country anymore, can we? Don't want us clubbing together, I want us all separated and apart and mistrustful of each other. See, that is noisy, he's not even a big lad, you know. And kids up there all gathering, that's what kids do. And see, all you've got to do for this whole thing, that's it. See the roofs, houses, car driver. Now he's just driving, he's just probably teaching how to drive. But about 10, 11, 12, 1, Friday night, mates have had a beer, had a smoke or whatever, but the driver gets egged on to have a little spin around this car park. What's he going to do? You know, see, there's the gates that are left open for 5 years, and there's the chain that could go round them 2 gates when they're closed. Problem solved. No phone calls to police, no antisocial behaviour in this facility, no noise from the skiddy joyriders, no frightened pensioners, no miserable middle-aged bold bastards. I don't hear the joyriding because it's an ambient, not an ambient noise, but it's not invasive, explosive noise like what this lad's going to do in a minute. He's got his baseball hat on back to front, so he must be. There you go. So that wasn't obviously he was quite low. He's quite within the facility. He's not heavy, and he didn't do it from height, but it's different. Especially when it goes on all the time when it shouldn't. Anyway, back to me, to you, to me. Come on then. God, you hate going back in, don't you? So just going home now. You can hear the noise now as the night gets nighter and quieter, as it is now. Listen. Now, that level of noise is, by comparison, is nothing. But that's one person skateboarding, and there's about 16 people in there. That's one person skateboarding, and he's about 8 stone. And because he's got a big baseball hat on. There's nothing to it, but it makes a noise. And if there's nothing going past, there's an odd car going past, even on a Friday, the noise permeates across the whole community. And that's probably what they suspected it would do. This is something that really bothers me about this planning. Okay, this is what you should do when you cover all bases and do the what ifs. Let me give you an example. And this is quite disturbing, really. Just seen the part there. There's the acoustic barrier, and there's a security fence just below it. So have a look at that. Now, just supposing that somebody wanted to dare their mate to walk along or balance along the top of that acoustic wall, and they lose their balance and fumble, and the next thing they fall to the right hand side there, to this side, straight onto them spikes. It'd never happen, would it? What is the likelihood? Well, the problem is there is a likelihood, because it's on a nice summer's day or late at night, a couple of people, youngsters, had a couple of cans or a couple of smokes or whatever, God knows, try to dare someone or climb over the wall or escape from somebody or just for a fucking laugh, and he's impaled on a spiky thing. It always happens to somebody else, somewhere else, doesn't it? Never happens on your watch. Anyway, I'm going in now. Gonna have some downtime. Been working since just gone 8, I think, and finished at 7:30. And stopped for half an hour for something to eat. And trying to keep my life on track, such as it is. Anyway, thank you. Much love. Take care. Bye-bye.